Is Gen Z becoming less religious? A question that is both intriguing and relevant in today's changing world. As we journey through the digital era, where information is at our fingertips, the beliefs and attitudes of the younger generations are constantly evolving. Today we find ourselves at the precipice of an interesting conversation centered around Gen Z, the generation born between the mid-90s and the early 2000s, and their religious beliefs. Is this generation moving away from established religious institutions and practices, or are they simply redefining what it means to be religious in the 21st century? This is a subject of ongoing debate and research, with various studies presenting contrasting views and findings. Over the course of this video, we will delve into these research results and perspectives, exploring the complex religious landscape of Gen Z. So let's dive deep into the heart of this conversation. First, let's understand who Gen Z is. Born between 1997 and 2012, they are the most diverse generation in history. Gen Z, also known as iGen Centennials, or simply the post-millennials, are the first generation to be born into a digital world. They've grown up with smartphones in their hands, access to a world of information at their fingertips, and an innate understanding of the digital landscape that older generations can only aspire to. They are not just diverse in terms of their ethnicity or cultural background, but also in their thoughts, their perspectives, and their attitudes. They are known for their progressive and inclusive attitudes, a result of the varied and multicultural world they've grown up in. They are also the most educated generation to date, with a higher percentage of them planning to obtain a university degree compared to previous generations. Now let's dive into their religious beliefs. Studies show that Gen Z is less religious than previous generations. Not by a small margin, but by a significant one. A majority of them identify as religiously unaffiliated, which includes atheists, agnostics, and those who simply describe their religion as nothing in particular. They are also less likely to believe in God, with many of them expressing doubts about the existence of a higher power. However, this does not mean they are not spiritual. Many of them still believe in an afterlife, and a significant number practice meditation and mindfulness. They are also more likely to believe in concepts such as karma and reincarnation. They are a generation that values personal experience over institutionalized faith, and they are more likely to seek out their own spiritual path rather than follow a prescribed religion. Their participation in religious activities is also on the decline. They are less likely to pray, read religious texts, or attend religious services compared to their parents or grandparents. Yet they are more likely to engage in acts of kindness, volunteer, and work towards social justice. Clearly, Gen Z is a unique generation with its own set of beliefs and attitudes towards religion. Now let's delve into one of the most notable trends among Gen Z, the rise of secularism. Secularism, in its simplest definition, is the principle of separation of the state from religious institutions. But when we talk about it in the context of Generation Z, it becomes a much broader concept. It reflects an increasing inclination towards a life not governed by religious dogmas, but rather one marked by personal beliefs, rational thinking, and a focus on social justice and equality. Research from the Pew Research Center shows that Gen Z is less likely than previous generations to identify as religious. In fact, a third of Gen Zers report having no religious affiliation at all. This is a significant shift from the baby boomer generation, where only about 1 in 10 reported the same. The rise of atheism and agnosticism among Gen Z is noteworthy too. Unlike atheism, which is a disbelief in the existence of God, agnosticism is the belief that the existence of God, of the divine or the supernatural, is unknown or unknowable. Pew's research found that nearly 20% of Gen Zers consider themselves atheists, agnostics, or simply nothing in particular. But what does this really mean for Gen Z? How does it impact their lives? Well, it's not that they don't believe in anything. Instead, they are more likely to draw their moral and ethical guidelines from a variety of sources, including personal experience, science, philosophy, and even from elements of different religions. They are more likely to see religion as a personal matter, one that should not dictate social norms or public policy. However, it's important to note that this doesn't mean that all of Gen Z is turning away from religion. There are still many who identify as religious, and for some, their faith plays a crucial role in their lives. Secularism seems to be a significant part of the Gen Z religious landscape, yet it's not the whole picture. While secularism is on the rise, Gen Z's religious landscape is far from uniform. Gen Z, the demographic cohort succeeding millennials, is not simply turning away from religion, rather they're reshaping it in a myriad of ways. Let's delve into the fascinating complexity of Gen Z's religious beliefs and attitudes. Firstly, research has unearthed an intriguing trend among Gen Z. A significant number identify as spiritual, but not religious. These individuals seek a connection to the universe and a sense of purpose in life, but they don't necessarily find these within the confines of traditional religious institutions. They're more inclined to find spirituality in everyday life, personal growth, and experiences of awe and wonder in nature. Secondly, Gen Z shows an increased interest in non-traditional religious practices. This includes everything from meditation and mindfulness practices, to exploring ancient wisdom traditions, to participation in online faith communities. The internet and social media have opened up a world of religious and spiritual exploration for Gen Z, who are not afraid to chart their own spiritual paths. Furthermore, Gen Z is marked by an openness to different belief systems. They highly value diversity, inclusivity, and pluralism in their spiritual pursuits. Whether it's Buddhism, Hinduism, paganism, or a blend of various faith traditions, Gen Z is more likely than previous generations to explore and embrace a spectrum of religious beliefs. However, this doesn't mean Gen Z is devoid of skepticism. They question, they challenge, they demand evidence. They're not interested in blind faith, but in beliefs that can stand up to scrutiny, that can be integrated with science, and that contribute to a better, more compassionate world. In conclusion, Gen Z's relationship with religion is far from simple. It's a dynamic, evolving, and multifaceted landscape, reflecting their unique perspectives and experiences. This generation is not so much abandoning religion as they are redefining it, reshaping it to suit their needs and values in an ever-changing world. As we can see, Gen Z's religious beliefs are complex and diverse. So what does the future hold for religion and Gen Z? A question that tickles our curiosity. As we gaze into the crystal ball of data and trends, we can see a few potential pathways unfold. One possibility is the continued secularization of Gen Z. With their critical thinking skills, they may continue to question traditional religious beliefs and lean more towards agnosticism or atheism. Yet it's also possible we might witness a return to traditional religion. The uncertainties of the world could push them towards the comfort and community that established religions provide. Or we might see something entirely new. Gen Z, known for its creativity and individualism, might redefine what spirituality means, creating new forms of belief systems that resonate with their unique experiences. Only time will tell how Gen Z's religious landscape will evolve. But one thing is certain, it will be as unique and diverse as Gen Z itself.